Greetings, YouTubers. Today is Sunday, February 16th, 2002, and it is a beautiful day. 75 degrees, I think, is the forecast high. Light breeze. It's already beautiful warm out. It's about just about noon, I think, and that's going to continue, I think, probably for the next several days, maybe the rest of the week. So, well, already putting another video together. All of a sudden I got inspired, I guess, huh? So, couple of things. So what's been happening? So Tally Ho broke. Zach was out here camping with me and needed to go into town, and I was like, hop in, I'll give you a ride. And we got in, and I went to go start the Tally Ho, and nothing. Dead as a doornail. So I said, hey, Zach, you got jumper cables? And we tried to jump it, and just about smoked his battery. At first I thought, well, there's a short in the battery, so I replaced it, $150, and brought it back and installed it, and went to attach it, and I drew an arc off of the terminal that you could have welded with. It was impressive. And so anyway, I was without a car for almost a month. I got a hold of some folks in town here in Quartzsite. Best RV Auto and Truck, I think is their name. Can't say enough good about them. Heard nothing but good things from other folks about them. I mean, there have been some times when they can't fix stuff, but they're upfront about it and say, we can't fix that. Their prices were, it wasn't cheap to get Tally Ho fixed, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was being extorted either. I think it was a fair price for the area and the work that was done. And they came out into, they came all the way out into the desert to tow Tally Ho out. Probably 4 miles down into La Posa South, probably half of that over dirt roads. And they came in and hauled it out. That was $175. $175 an hour, and it took an hour to get all of that done. And then, $300 for the repairs. And it was a starter. So the starter motor had shorted out, I guess, drained the battery. And then when we tried to jump it, we just created a dead short and almost ruined Zach's battery in his side-by-side. And once they replaced the starter, and I think it had melted some of the insulation off of the cable, so they replaced that cable. And anyway, all of that to say, last Friday I got Tally Ho back, up and running. I'm back on the road. I am one happy dude. So that's good. A little bit of stress. It's just life. We get life all the time, right? So, got past it. It's all good. Tally Ho's back on the road. What else did I want to talk about? I want to whine. Can I whine for a minute? Is everybody over 21? Can you all drink wine? Okay, just checking. So, Walmart. I've been out on the road for nearly 2 years. February 24th is when I signed on the house, and I was on the road February 25th. Stopped, to work on the trailer and all of that stuff, but officially, February 25th, I was moving, man. I had the trailer in tow, and I was on the road. And I've done a lot of business with Walmart, mostly because their bottom line is the best. It's hard to beat their prices. At least all under one roof. There might be a couple of things that are a little higher and lower, but for the most part, Walmart was the go-to place. And they have everything that I need, and some stuff that I've never seen anywhere else but Walmart. But I got to tell you, lately it has been a real stress point for me, especially here in the Parker Walmart. Some of it is Walmart's fault. They stock during the day, so there are carts and boxes and employees in the aisles, sometimes blocking entire segments of an aisle to restock. And in Parker, especially at peak season, Walmart is just crazy crowded. It is, without question, the most crowded store, Walmart or otherwise, that I've ever been in. And I struggle with it anyway. I just don't do well with crowds. I do even worse with, I was going to use a different word, but I'm trying to be polite here, with crowds that just aren't paying attention or consider about the fact that Walmart is crazy crowded. You got to have your head up and looking around you. You can't just, all of a sudden stop in a doorway. There's 20 people behind you trying to get through that door, and you stop there. You can't move 20 more feet into the store so that other people can get around you. And, walking around with their nose in the air, head in the clouds, completely unaware of anything going on around them or that people are trying to get by. And, I don't know, it doesn't take much. I mean, maybe I'm being overly judgmental, but, when I go into a store like that, I'm looking around me and I'm cognizant of when people are trying to get by. Whenever I park my cart, I park it over to the side of the aisle so that there's room to get another cart by and they can get around me. And, if I'm standing in front of some segment of the shelf and somebody comes by and, I try to step back and let them, see the products that they're looking for so that they can get to them. I don't know. Anyway, so Walmart has just been a really big source of frustration for me the last couple of months. I go, payday, and then I hit Walmart and stock up on groceries. And this month, I went to Smart & Final. I paid more. I didn't have the selection of stuff that I wanted, and it was a 12-mile drive, so it was shorter. But I don't know. I don't know if I can keep doing Walmart. And it just exacerbates the problem when their employees are in the aisles stocking shelves and they park stuff in the most inconvenient places. I can always find a soapbox. I don't have any trouble finding a soapbox whenever I want to. Let's see here. I thought I'd talk about my cost of living. So, there are some things that I absolutely need. And these are variable numbers, and they change when I'm traveling. And depending on where I shop, like if I'm shopping at Walmart or at Smart & Final. But I think that these are pretty good middle-of-the-road numbers, just to give you an idea of what it costs for me to live, and what I consider a pretty good level. I mean, I'm well-fed, I'm clothed, and I get to travel across the United States, and so I can't complain about the way I live. I think I live pretty good. So anyway, I thought I'd go down and give you a rundown of what it costs for me to live. And this is not my most frugal. I did an experiment, I think the first year that I was out. I just wanted to see how cheaply I could live. And I lived on ramen and water for 3 months. I did a little more than that, but it was under $100 a month for me to live for that 3-month period. Not including car payments, car insurance, and other stuff that if I didn't have, I wouldn't have those payments. This was just for me to see what it would take to sustain myself, to live. Food, water, shelter. And it was under $100 a month. And let me tell you, by the end of that 3 months, I was craving some fresh vegetables and other stuff. So anyway, right now I'm spending between $150 and $200 a month for food. I spent $128 at Blythe earlier this week, Thursday, because I was at my dad's house on Wednesday to celebrate his birthday. Happy birthday, Dad! Love you. So I think Thursday went shopping in Blythe. Got a ride from a friend, and we both did some shopping there. $150 to $200 is normal, and that's me. Sometimes I have to buy stuff like what's the word I want to use for them? Like mayonnaise and butter and things that you don't have to buy like every month, but once every couple of months, that kind of stuff. And then I'll shift over to the 200 end. If I'm just getting, like bread, coffee, water, stuff like that, about the 150 end of the spectrum. 120 for car insurance, and that's just liability. No, it's not full coverage. The car's only worth about $3,000, so I can't see paying for full coverage. I pay $120 a month for really sucky Verizon. I got to change that. I will change that. I got some stuff from 40 Flatlander. Dude, you the man. That was really helpful stuff. I'm going to dig into that and learn some things. In fact, I have that SIM card that's in my Wi-Fi. I'm wondering if I can plug that into another router and see some improvement that way. Anyway, $120 for Verizon. I'm going to try and cut that down to much less if I can. I'll end up spending it somewhere else probably. But when I'm traveling, between $300 and $600 to travel. So I get on the road. I get about 10 miles to the gallon towing. Typically about 15 miles to the gallon when I'm not towing. The best that I've ever gotten on a windless day, flat ground, 55 miles an hour was just under 20 miles to a gallon, 19.8, something like that. So when I'm going across the United States and I do about 1,000 miles, usually, sometimes less, sometimes more. It's between 300 and 600 depending on gas prices and weather conditions and how deep I got my foot into the pedal. $250 for a car payment. I've got about 5 payments left, so that'll be done soon. And then I spend about $300 a month on trailer upgrades. So buying lumber. Last month was the refrigerator. What a great investment that was. I am really happy with this refrigerator, I got to tell you. Alpacool C53, I think is the model number. It's real basic, $299. So about $300 a month in upgrades, and that's to buy wood, nails, screws, lumber, paint. Anything that I do to the trailer that just kind of improves my living quality here. About $150 a month for miscellaneous stuff and entertainment. So every once in a while I go out to a show, a movie, or out to dinner, or I try to go out to dinner once a month. Usually it's right after payday, and usually it's someplace truly decadent like Carl's Jr., and I'll get a double something or other with fries and a big Coke, and I just really love it. But about $150 in that, and then variably, whatever's left will be given away, either to my kids or somebody in need in the desert, but I'm usually down to about, $20 by the time my next payday rolls around. And that's something that I've really wanted to change. But it seems like every month there's something. Like this month it was Tally-Ho, getting that starter replaced. I needed to do that. Otherwise I'd have had quite a bit extra cash in my pocket. But so that takes care of pretty much my entire paycheck for the month. And then about 145 of that goes to pay for the insurance that I can't use. I'm going to stay off the soapbox. I promise. I swear. I'll stay off the soapbox. And then this month I want to give thanks out to Rena. I got to tell you, I've been without a car for, 3 weeks maybe. Somewhere in there, give or take a week. And Rena is camped up here with the Y'all Ain't Right Club, Yark Camp. And I'm about a mile north of her. And, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to be to my dad's for his birthday. I wouldn't have been able to get to Blythe for groceries. So, thanks, Rita. I really appreciate the help that you've given me. And, I think I would have survived, but probably not as well and not as happily. So, thank you so much for all that you've done for me during that month. And of course, that if there's something that you need, give me a holler and I'm there. So, okay, future plans, goal update, nothing new. I'm getting ready to go look at land. I think I've talked about that. Southern Colorado, Northern Nevada seem to be the big contenders, but I'm going to look here in Arizona, up north of Flagstaff, probably out east around Show Low, that area. There are places in California. Might go take a peek at those. I don't know. It's not that I don't like the land. It's just I don't like California. Sorry. I mean, I was born and raised in California. And, I was a surfer. I lived pretty close to the beach, and I lived in the ocean. And I miss the beach. God, I miss the beach. But it's just gotten so crowded. And some of the stuff that California is doing is just, in terms of the way they lead the state, just not a place I want to live, I don't think. And, maybe if I get in far enough east, I could have coastline someday. You never know. But so that hasn't changed. Recent photo slideshow. I'm just going down my list. I don't know that I've got any new photos to put up there. Oh, there's my refrigerator. Cut. It's not that bad. I looked back on the last video I did, and you could hear it. It was back there, but it wasn't horrible. It bothered Mark. Sorry, man. Peace, bruh. But I'm about done here anyway. So that's it. And maybe I'll find a couple of photos here to stick up. We've had some rain, and you know what? I think we're gonna have another super bloom this year. We've had it for 2 years in a row, and I gotta tell you, man, it's really beautiful to see something that looks as dead as the desert all of a sudden come alive and just bust with color. It's mighty awesome. The only thing I don't like about it is that it brings out a couple of billion people as well, but it's sure worth looking at. So maybe I'll get some more shots for the next video, but I don't think I've got anything. Maybe a couple of food things and stuff that I can put up and show you what I've been eating. So yeah, that's it. Alright, you guys, you got any questions, comments? You guys have been really good about that. Post them. I try to answer everyone. And if there's something you want to know more about, feel free to ask. I'm an open book, and I don't, I'm not afraid to share my life with you guys. I mean, there's certain things I don't want to keep close to the vest, but for the most part, especially if it's a question about if you're thinking about doing this, and you've got some question about how you would solve for something, ask me. I'm happy to help you. So be sure to do that. And you guys have been good about that anyway. Love you. Bless you. I hope to meet each and every one of you someday. At a van build and an RTR, or just out here in the desert, you happen to drive by, and be sure to stop by and say hi. And let's light a fire and have a chat. So anyway, I'll see you guys later.